A special thanks to my favorite zoo, North Georgia Zoo has been my partner in making this video and allowed me to learn from their caretakers. They have let me use images of their kangaroo species and their New Guinea singing dogs. To see more, feel free to visit their website, myfavoritezoo.com, or visit them in Cleveland, Georgia. For the safety of the animals and myself, I had to take my pictures from a distance, and the fences sometimes got into the pictures. To see the animals in their best quality, I suggest visiting your local zoo. Everyone knows that kangaroos live in Australia, but here at the North Georgia Zoo there are 4 different species to be seen. However, we will only be discussing 3. There's Malachi, the male red kangaroo and his gal pals, and albino Bennett wallaby, who is now a mother, and swamp wallabies. The red kangaroo is the largest of the kangaroo species. Malachi is the large male red kangaroo and he has 2 females with him. This group size is similar to how reds would behave in the wild. They form small groups called mobs, but in droughts or extreme circumstances, larger mobs may form. The namesake for the red kangaroo, the red patch on their neck and upper chest, is mostly seen in males. The females have a slightly more gray color. These giant marsupials spend most of their time lounging in the sun. In the wild, they would forage for food during the cooler twilight hours. Here at the zoo, all kangaroo species are fed a diet of kangaroo pellets, grains, and hay. Treats such as carrots and other roots or branches from trees may be spread throughout the habitat to continue their foraging instincts. The Bennett wallaby would normally be a darker brownish gray with a red patch on their neck, but the Bennett wallaby here at the North Georgia Zoo is an albino. She's a new mom. The joey is large enough to stick his head out of mom's pouch. As you can hopefully see, the joey is not an albino. As they would in the wild, zookeepers plan to let the mother keep the joey in her pouch as long as they are both happy and healthy. Most species in the kangaroo family travel often in the wild. Kangaroos like new territory to explore often, and to encourage that behavior, the zoo will give them new toys or housing in their pen. They will also change the bedding in the housing unit that the animals sleep in to give them some variety. Swamp wallaby are spread out in both the pen for the red kangaroos and the pen for the Bennett wallaby. They are housed in both exhibits because in the wild, swamp wallaby don't form groups unless they happen upon each other while searching for food. Also, the male swamp wallaby are not territorial, so they are a good companion for the other species that may be territorial. This was in an attempt to keep peace between the males, and it has been successful. The North Georgia Zoo takes great care in the safety of their animals. They train the kangaroos, especially the larger breeds, to stay away from the fence. If the larger kangaroo were to feel threatened, he could kick the fence, and their legs are strong enough to damage the fence. Even with this training, the animals on display are wild, so the zoo cannot keep them from forming alphas in the mobs. The alpha males tend to push their way forward to get food and treats first. Treats given to the kangaroos are small food such as carrots, roots, and logs or branches from pine trees. The kangaroos enjoy pulling the bark off the pine and they eat the branches. Kangaroos are most active at feeding time, in the morning and again in the evening. They spend most of their time basking in the sun. However, if the zookeepers notice one particular kangaroo being lethargic, they will go into the habitat to verify that the kangaroo does not require special care. Not far from the kangaroo habitat is the New Guinea singing dog habitat. The singing dogs are similar to dingoes. They are a wild dog with a sandy brown color and white markings on their underside. It is believed that they are descendants of dogs who had been domesticated by an ancient group of people, but were then secluded in New Guinea to become wild again. They have the anatomy of a wild dog, but behave like domesticated dogs in the way that they groom themselves, and they are more playful and neat than wild dogs. Singing dogs got their name from their vocal communication. They bark, whine, and howl. However, they have a particular pitch that is unique to each dog, and that is how they tell each other apart when howling over great distances. Here's an example. Not much is known about wild New Guinea singing dogs. The population is low, and they are smaller dogs who are mostly quiet and don't trust people easily in the wild. Some have been captured and re-domesticated. These are kept as pets. The singing dogs of the North Georgia Zoo are treated like wild singing dogs. They are fed a diet of wet and dry dog food along with thawed chicken as a snack. In their natural habitat, the dogs would live in areas with lots of underbrush and trees. The zoo gives the New Guinea singing dogs wooden levels to climb on because the dogs are highly energetic and enjoy being up high. In the wild, the dogs climb trees to get their prey. Because the dogs are so energetic, they are given an average of 20 minutes of training a day. They are given dead trees to climb and tunnels to run through. Food is also hidden in their habitat to encourage natural feeding habits. Singing dogs are active during the day. They are playful and enjoy attention, often yelping when there are tours at the zoo to get a reaction from the visitors. All of these animals are wild animals, and even though they live in a closed habitat, the caretakers strive to give their animals a life that is as close to their natural habitat as possible. They are fed foods that are nutritious and snacks that are similar to what they would eat in the wild. The animals are encouraged to behave like they would in their natural habitat, and the caretakers interact with them to ensure their safety and health. With the food, shelter, and all the space they need, the animals in the North Georgia Zoo probably wouldn't even notice that they're not in the wild.